Today is your opportunity to access the Akashic Records. Welcome to Wednesdays with Willa. I am your host, Willa White, and this is my weekly podcast show that airs on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern on my Facebook page, Willa White Medium. It also goes out on my YouTube channel, as well as the Lilydale Facebook page and YouTube channel. And you can listen wherever you get your podcasts on Apple, Spotify. I'm part of the Mind, Body, Spirit FM network. And it's just so wonderful to be able to get these kind of wonderful shows out there. I tend to focus on spiritualism, mediumship, healing, faith, family, and more. And I'm blessed to be at Lilydale. It's almost 25 years now being registered at Lilydale, New York, which is the world's largest Center for the Religion of Spiritualism. And I'll be talking today with one of our special guest presenters for the summer. And she's been on the show before. And I want you to welcome Sandra Taylor. Thanks for being here today, Sandy.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Willa. Really my pleasure.
Yes, it's great to have you back on the show again. And for those of you who don't know who Sandra Taylor is, she is a New York Times best-selling author and one of the world's most sought-after teachers on quantum spirituality and intuitive living. She also has books. She's an author of Quantum Success, Unlimited Abundance, Akashic Records Made Easy, all of those great books and more. She also has Oracle decks, and she'll be back here in Lilydale, as I said, to teach us about other aspects of spirituality. But today she is on our show to talk about accessing the Akashic Records. And stay tuned later in this episode. There'll be a meditation that she'll share with us and lead you through so that you can have your own unique experience with the Akashic Records today. Ooh, well, I mean, it's such a pleasure to have you here. And I think we should start with, in terms of asking that important question of connecting, how would you describe the Akashic Records to someone hearing about them for the first time?
Well, it's a very deep concept and it's mystical, but it's not difficult to get into. And so the real definition of, and excuse me if I pronounce it Akashic Records, you are probably more correct in the pronunciation than I am because I learned all about this from the Edgar Casey, oh, many years ago, decades ago, actually. And my teacher pronounced it Akashic Record. So ever since then, it's been logged in my head. So, but it doesn't
Potato,
matter what you
potato,
call it. Yeah, potato, let's not call the whole thing off. Anyway, the Akashic Records are a compendium of everything, every bit of information in the universe. That includes your and my personal information, past lives, present issues, even future potentials for each of us and each individual in the world. Okay. Most people use the Akashic Records for that reason, to look at their past lives and to try to clear patterns. And that's a very valuable reason. But it's way more than that. It's also all the information. People are amazed by this. It's all the information you will ever need in your lifetime about yourself. It's got spiritual information, what happened before the Big Bang, who is God, what are they? It's got spiritual truth, it's got science, medicine, physiology, math, everything that exists now and could exist in the future in terms of people's knowledge of it. And just to give an example of that, I mean, it's just hanging there in the Akashic field. And if we want to know, if we want an answer to something, we need to open up to it. And a big way to do that is relaxing and connecting. Anyway, so I want to just give you this one example. There was this scientist named Carrie Mullis who had worked in a lab trying to decode DNA. And he worked on it for 2 years and he was working and working. And finally he said, I'm going to take some time off. And they were in California. He got his girlfriend. They were driving to the coast to go surfing. And he was driving and looking at the hills and the plants and the flowers on the bushes and the rocks and the formula printed out on that landscape. And he stopped the car and he said, "It can't be that easy. It can't be that easy. It was a simple formula. Why haven't I gotten at this before?" So he pulled off at the nearest hotel, called all his science friend, and they had stayed there the weekend and tested it and did it. And they went back to the lab on Monday, tested, tested, tested. It was the answer they were seeking. The information of something so arguably the most important medical or biological information in the 1900s, late 1900s, because you can identify criminals, you can make diseases clear and prepare for potential diseases, cure them ahead of time because of this information. And where did this information come from? It was in the Akashic Records. It was in the Akashic Records. And he relaxed, and here's the other thing, his intention aligned with that. And then he let go of the striving, and the records just opened up. And that's what we can have. We can have spontaneous introduction of inspiration and truth and information at any time if we just relax and let our intentions go into the records, and it'll come to us, especially when he did not practice opening the records. But when you practice opening the records, I mean, as a writer, I leave the records open all the time. And if I get stuck on something, I'll just say, okay, I need the idea of where this next chapter's going or this next paragraph. And I'll just stop and things will come to me. And it's the records. It's a powerful, powerful source of information, but I want to say it's not just information, it's also energy. It's also energy. Okay? It is not just information. It's the vibration of truth. And Edgar Cayce said that the records are written in the trees, in the flowers, in the hills, in the clouds. And they literally were for Carrie Mullis. So that's how powerful the records can be. And, people are really misinformed about how to get into it. I mean, there are books that say, oh, you have to say this prayer, it's in a foreign language, and nobody knows what it means. And then I saw another book that says you have to use the name on your own birth certificate. And if it's different in any way, no. The universe knows who you are, and the universe knows what you want and what you need from the records. So it's a very, very powerful tool. And we could get inspiration if we're artists and need to decide what we're going to paint next, if we're poets, if we're scientists, if we're stock investors. You can even get an idea of a stock to invest in. Nothing is
Incredible.
limited.
Nothing is limited.
Nothing is
So
limited.
on a human consciousness level, we have the ideas of limitation, but with all these modern technologies that we have, we have what's known as the cloud and all these
Yes, the
storage in the cloud. And then we also have AI where we can, ask a question and things bump back. Or if you do all your search engine things, and but this is next level is what we're talking with the Akashic.
Okay. Yes, it's next
Gotcha.
level and first level. Before all that existed, this
Exactly.
existed. And it's next level because you don't need technology to do it.
Hmm.
So you just need your own consciousness.
You
And
are the technology.
you are the technology. Your
Yeah.
spirit is the technology. Connecting with spirit is a part of the technology. So it's important to know. And that's, you know, if we want to really connect, there are things we can do every day. Meditate is one of them. Get into a calmer state. Carrie didn't care about the answers he was seeking. Meditate. Um, Connect with spirit. Spirit are actual messengers from the records. They're messengers in the records and from the records. And so when we connect with them, just to say hi and to ask a question or whatever, they may be bringing record information or they may be bringing other information that they simply know. But connecting with spirit is a very powerful spirit, loved ones, family, friends, guides, masters, ascended masters, and angels, all of everybody in the spirit realm. They're all connected to the Akashic Records, including your own higher self. Your own higher self is an eternal spirit that always has access to the Akashic Records. And when we connect with spirit and meditate a lot, and even if we connect with the earth and do a walking meditation. Those kind of peaceful processes bring us into a flow of the information and inspiration. It takes us out of our left brain, which is always striving, always thinking, always analyzing, and allows us to receive.
I think it's beautiful that we have an ability to do that. We have only to remember it. And when people start talking about the Akashic records, some folks are probably going, "Yes, that makes sense. I feel the truth of that." And other people would hear that and go, "Yeah, right." So, what would you say to that second group of people?
Well, the people that have a hard time believing in it usually don't have these spontaneous kind of inspirations that are like, aha, that is the answer, and then they try it out and it is the answer. Usually they're more in their left brain and they're striving. Not that I'm judging or anything, but to say that that can't exist, um, it limits their not only their view of the world, but their potential for reaching out. If they have a goal where they want to write a major book, or if they have a goal where they want to create even a business, the information that can help them is available to them. And so I would really recommend, instead of saying, I don't know if that's true, um, there you got to let it be a part of let it become a part of your life. I've had so many things that have happened to me that I have no doubt that it's true, because I do receive information that, hasn't been available anywhere else in my experience. Things exist, and you can even look into the future. There was a situation, oh, I think it was 12 or 14 years before the sinking of the Titanic. Because what exists in the records, past, present, solutions in the present, understanding the past, curing the past, solutions and inspiration from the present, and future potential. Nothing is written in stone in the future, okay? But it's just the potential. But about 12 or 14 years before the Titanic sank, a man named Morgan Thompson, I believe his name was, wrote a book that he saw in a dream. He had this dream, and it was about a major cruise ship that was traveling on its maiden voyage along the North Atlantic Passage. And it hit an iceberg and it went down, and over 1,200 people were lost. This is 12 years before the Titanic. The name of that book was Futility, or the Wreck of the Titan. Yeah, I'm like goosebumps. So you know what? And people say, well, that means the future is predestined. No, it's based on consciousness and present energy. And if the people that were related to that, you know, that experience in the real time, didn't care about the speed, didn't want to have set the records, didn't worry about how the lifeboats looked. Do you know they limited lifeboats on the first class desks because it didn't look as good? Yeah. So if their consciousness was different, if they had been exposed to this book, which I doubt that they have, but it does exist, where did that information come from? He dreamt it. It's like, okay, this, something's got to be there. Something is vibrating with information.
So, how do we make the distinction between the Akashic Records and other intuitive tools?
Well, you know what? I stopped trying to figure that out. I think that other intuitive tools like receiving information from spirit and just having an intuition, something come to you like, oh, I'm going to go to this place and they might have the car for me and it's the right car for you. No, you're just using your intuition. I believe that it's not, maybe not all the Akashic records, but I believe there's just connections in so many ways that if you follow your intuition, it will either just the intuition will lead you to the right outcome, or it will connect you to the information. I don't know if it's absolutely necessary to try to pinpoint, oh, this was my grandmother talking to me, and this was me opening the Akashic records, because grandma can bring the records. Anyone can.
So, you're saying all of the above
Yes,
is
all of the
contained
above.
in the Akashic Records.
Yeah, and
But
it's
not
okay to
everything is
say,
Akashic Records, right? So,
huh?
how do we make the distinction between what is Akashic Records and what is just normal living?
Well, live our present lifestyle and our present decisions are based on our consciousness. You know, the records aren't going to tell me what to eat for breakfast. It's like but it responds to our consciousness. Okay. So we might get a feeling, hmm, you know, my diet's been wonky. I think I'm going to do some oatmeal. See what I'm saying? We're not getting information all the time. We live in our present consciousness. We live in our habits, our patterns. And if
Mhm.
they're good patterns, that's great. If they're not healthy patterns, we can look in the records and see where they were sourced, maybe even in past life. Maybe if someone has a financial pattern where they just can't make enough money, just can't save enough money, they're always just getting by. If that is a consistent problem, consistent problems, relationship, I never meet anyone available, I can't make the money, whatever it is, I always lose the job. If there's a consistency in a difficult problem, it is very likely to be based in a past life experience or more than one, even health issues. And then you can use the records to go back and look at what happened, and then you can clear that by rewriting that record.
That's right. So, recapitulation is that you can have from past life, but also in current life, only earlier on sometimes, right? You can also go
Absolutely.
back. So,
Absolutely.
it's
And
applicable
you can go
in
back and
both
do
ways.
that too. Yeah,
Hmm. And
absolutely.
recapitulation is going back and getting the energy that you may have felt that you left behind there, bringing
Hmm.
it forward into your present moment, feeling freedom and feeling inspiration and feeling deeper connection with the divine. So a lot of wonderful ways that we can use the Akashic records
Yeah.
in terms of the personal journey, the spiritual journey, those resources that are there for us. And I was just wondering if if you could share if there was a pivotal moment when you realized that the Akashic records were a transformative tool in your life. What was that moment that it just clicked for you?
Well, I had been studying it, studying the records a lot, and also studying reincarnation. And I had had many, many years of physical problems, bronchitis, sinus infections. And I decided I'm looking in the records, I'm going to do some past life regressions or just record reading. It's easy, it's actually easier to do than a regression because you go to your sacred temple and see a screen and it's like a movie playing out. And I saw all these lives where I was strangled, I drowned, I was in a dank prison cell, and all this breathing stuff. And one by one, I went through them and rewrote them and said, this doesn't have to be my present definition. Here's and it didn't have to be it. I mean, I went from having no joke, 16 to 18 infections a year to now maybe I get one, maybe none. Okay. So it's a big, big difference. But the real realization is that um, the the liberating realization is that we do not have to be limited in our health, limited in our money, limited in our relationships. And what the Akashic Records brings us to is back to our eternal definition, you know, and all the lifetimes we've lived since the source, being born with source. I didn't start like 100 years ago or even 1,000 years ago. We all go back to source. We're all children of God, unlimited in value, power, deserving, unlimited in our ability to achieve the things that we want. And when we go into the records of our eternal identity, everything opens up. And that's really where the power is.
I think it's so wonderful that there are ways that we can gr- understand in a greater way why we have reoccurring challenges and limiting beliefs. And this is a way to transcend some of those and support healing and personal transformation.
Mhm.
And it has gives us those access points. So in terms of helping people who are not used to using the Akashic records in those ways, what are some things that you feel people may have as misconceptions about who can access Akashic records or how difficult it might be? What would you say to that?
There is no, and be very careful what you read and what you take as truth, because there are a lot of people that say you have to follow step A, B, C, and there is no specific way. You can meditate, and sometimes you can dream. Sometimes I'll put on a notebook by my bed and write that I sleep peacefully through the night and I receive information in a way I can remember and understand. That's from the records, it's from spirit. Doesn't matter where it's from. We don't have to identify that. We have to be open to this this field. If you study quantum physics, people talk about fields, and fields are considered, um, you know, blankets, large, huge, sometimes unending fields of vibrating information. And it's always there. It's always there. So if you let yourself get past all the limiting views, just meditate and say, I'm going to receive information from the records tonight, or even during the day. Even during the day. One thing I do is I talk to spirit during the day. And whether it's from the records or they're just giving me an idea. I have pictures of my relatives, pictures of angels, pictures of ascended masters, all sorts of around my house. And I'll walk by and say, "Hi, how you doing?" And I'll say, if I'm working on something, I need an idea about this, or I need a solution about this. I can't find the handyman that's right for this job, and just release it. And you'll be surprised. You'll be at dinner sometime and someone says, "Oh, I just found the best handyman," or whatever. It's the universe coming together to create solutions because you are existing in a state of trust, a peace and trust, relaxation, and just letting go, not desperation and striving. Peace and trust. And that's all it takes to open the records. And once you open them, don't close them. There are people say that, you can meditate, do a record meditation on a past life, but then when you're done with that meditation, make sure you close the records. Never close the records. You want to be able to, boom, get an inspiration as you're driving your car or as you're walking around your living room. You just leave them open because they are there for you. And the spirit that brings the information are there for you as well.
So it's a positive connection and kind of keep the tab open, as
Yep,
it
it
were,
is.
within keep the tab open and keep your alignment there. There's almost like a super consciousness that people can get into and utilizing this level. And when they get so used to connecting deeply on an intuitive level to the Akashic Records, I feel that it'd be good to explain to people at this point. It's almost like if you want to envision, it's a huge library with lots of books and lots of records, or some people may think of it as some sort of dungeon in the basement of uh, with lots of files and file folders, or like the things behind you or something. But it really is not as concrete as that,
No.
and that it has more of that kind of instant quality.
Yeah.
And
Actually, Edgar Casey said that it is located physically somewhere. He said there was one place in Bimini that it might be the physical records may be located, but there's also under the foot of the Sphinx. It has not been found yet. I believe it's more etheric and can exist anywhere. And the ultimate reality is that since it is in consciousness and we have consciousness, we are consciousness, we have a direct line. We have a direct line to it. So I think that the best way to look at it is as a present vibration. And you can kind of turn it on and turn it off if you really like. Sometimes when I'm writing a book and I can't think of the next paragraph or chapter, I shut down and go, okay, records, and usually something comes to me. But so you can go into a direct line there, or you can just stay open and be willing to receive.
it's not like you then feel an entity passing you this information. You actually just immediately have the connection, the download, as
Yeah,
it were.
yes, but you can feel an entity. One of the most important pieces of information I ever got was from my father, who's
Mhm.
in spirit. And but I still, and I don't try to figure, oh, is that record? Is that, is that him? Is he being psychic? Am I being, you know, here's the thing. This information exists everywhere. As Casey said, it's in the molecules of the air. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's everywhere. And so if you see someone deliver it to you, that's fine. And if you want to think that it's just a message, that's fine too. It's not something we have to limit.
So, in terms of going back to the idea of accessing future possibilities, when people are using the Akashic records in that particular way, would you also explain to them that there are different paths that they can take, that there'll be
Oh,
maybe more
absolutely.
highlighted path,
I
that it's
absolutely.
the let's say the yellow highlighter on that one is the higher probability of the outcome, but as spiritualists we understand we have free will and that we can manifest our destiny by how we react to it, not about what happens to us.
Yeah.
So could you speak to that in terms of using the Akashic records in that
Yeah,
way?
it's important to know that the future it exists only in energetic potential. Um, so when I teach my classes, I teach two things. One is planting your intention in the future records. Like, this is what I want to do. This is the job I want to get. This is whatever. Okay. You can plant it in your records. The other thing I teach people to do is view a future outcome, that just so that you get an idea of what that future outcome might bring to you. And I once had a woman who was working for a legal firm, and she was really trying to make partnership, and she was working 60 hours a week, and she had a husband and three kids, and she was missing everything. And it was very hard on her, and it was hard on the family. So she was very curious about whether she was going to get this partnership or not, because it meant a huge raise in pay. It also meant more work than her 60 hours. But so we did a meditation into her future records, and it showed that yes, she was capable of getting her promotion, but what she saw was she was sitting in a conference room in a legal office across the table from her husband getting a divorce. Yep. Yep. That's what she saw when she knew she had gotten the promotion, and she was getting, and they were like arguing over the custody, and he was saying, "You haven't been a mother to these kids since you started working for this, partnership." And so after that, she was like, "Whoa, I don't want that." And she went to talk to her boss and said, "If I get the partnership, can I work a little less?" And he said, "Are you kidding?" No, you're going to work more. And then the boss said, "You have to decide what's more important to you, your family or the job. Yes, the partnership's nice, it's prestigious, it's lots of money. But is the money as valuable as your time with your family?" And she made the decision to stop going for the partnership. It showed the outcome, the potential outcome, and it blew her away because what she thought she wanted was not what the best outcome was for
It's
her.
the be careful what you wish for and what
Hmm.
you think you're building
Absolutely.
for. It's sometimes it's better if God doesn't answer certain prayers.
Yeah. Well, she
And
was going to get that prayer answer, but she was going to lose everything. And, you know,
yeah,
so
so
that's valuable. You could look for your future outcomes, and if it's worth it, then you go for it. And if it's not, then you go in a different direction.
right. So it can really offer a lot of clarity to the life journey, to soul purpose, to life mission.
Yep.
Also, our relationships with other people that are important to us so that
Hmm.
we can have a more balanced, more spiritual response to our lives. Now, in terms of accessing Akashic records, and if you really try to advocate that people access their own Akashic records, that you lead them through a meditation for
Yeah.
such a thing. What's your opinion about people accessing the Akashic records for someone else?
Well, it's there are some people that say that it's like against spiritual morality. But if you have a connection with someone, you might automatically get into their records in terms of how it relates to you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Excuse me. I do a lot of record readings,
Hmm.
lots of record readings. And a lot of times people would say, well, Are we ever going to get married? Are we this or that? And then I'll see a past life where they were together and then ended up having to split up, or this happened or that happened, and it included that person. So I don't consider it an immoral thing if it's connected to the
Right.
person, and you really can't stop it from coming. If the
Right.
person is asking, what was my relationship with this man in a past life, and you find out that he abandoned her or whatever, then you're not going to be able to stop that from coming.
Right. You're helping to connect with the energetic patterns
Right.
that
And
are around that person. And so they have access to
exactly.
it without
Ex-
needing a power of attorney document
exactly. Hmm.
for those things. Now, can people change what's in their Akashic records? Can they
Absolutely.
have something expunged, as it were?
Yes, absolutely. Especially past life stuff. When we get past life information, we see it I do a viewing screen. Yes, lots of people see libraries. I have a book of purpose where we go to the library. I've got many different meditations on this. But most of the time, I go to the sacred temple where there's a viewing screen and we look at a past life, and then we see where the pattern was formed. Like, this is my pattern of being passive and fearful and shutting down. And then what you do is you rewrite it. You actually meditate where you see a different outcome. You see yourself behaving differently. You see the person treating you differently. And you may have to do it more than once, but this is what I did with all my bronchial stuff. I would walk out of the prison and say, I'm not staying here. And they'd say, okay. You rewrite it. And people say, well, wait a minute, that's not how the history went. But what you're doing is rewriting the energy. See, the energy of victimization and staying stuck and being harmed just sits with you. And if we understand that all time exists at the same time, if you know the space-time continuum, then you know that energy is still vibrating. But when you rewrite it, you change the energy, and then you change your belief system, and you change how you direct and approach your relationships, your health, and all the things you're working with.
Absolutely. So you can reframe what's gone on in a more
Absolutely.
positive context, and also eliminate some of the emotional overload that can come, because a lot of times aggressive emotional responses can cement karmic entanglements. Even when we don't mean to do that, it can cement them. And then it makes it a little harder to go ahead and get that unsnarled. But once we rewrite history, as it were, and especially remove the emotional context of this and start to have more of that objective spiritual response, we literally do rewrite the history, and we learn from it effectively, and we can launch forth more productively in our life, and change the relationship that we have with a certain person or with
Yes,
others,
yes.
as you said so beautifully.
And rewriting your relationship and your patterns doesn't always change them because they have their own karmic path. But when you change how you perceive them and the power you give them and the way you respond to them, it changes everything.
Yeah. So one thread in the tapestry can change.
Yes,
We
that's
pull
right.
one thread,
That's
and
right.
it's a beautiful thing to know that we can have this level of empowerment in the Akashic Records, and that going back and reframing it can really help us to in our current lives and situation. And so we don't have an energy hang up. So we don't have something bothering us going forward. I was going to ask, in terms of the themes that you tend to notice in the Akashic Record readings, would you say that most people, it's predominantly about relationships that they are needing to resolve, or
Um,
or things
well,
that you think you've noticed that they particularly need access to from the Akashic records?
yeah, a not, I wouldn't say most. I mean, the major issues are relationship. How
Mhm.
did this, how did I get married to this critical man? And why do I feel like I've been through this a dozen times? And they probably were.
There's a theme. Yeah,
Yeah.
people have a theme.
So, but there's relationship, there's money issues. There's something called a reversal of fortune life where you've lost everything and you spend this whole life seeking what you've lost. Okay, so there's money patterns, and another relationship pattern is always being alone. People
Mhm.
don't realize that's a relationship pattern, and they may have made commitments in the past to be alone. So that health issues, um, you know, the source of uh, community, not having friends, all of these things can be part of your records, and you can get a good look at why they are persistent in your life now and how what you can do about it.
Yeah, it's very much about spiritual unfoldment and
Yes.
helping you get to the next level. And as you move through spiritual unfoldment, there'll be other things that you're accessing in the Akashic Records,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So there'll be other lessons that you're needing to incorporate, inspiration that you
Uh-huh.
can have in those moments. And I know you have a meditation that you would like to share with folks today to
Yeah.
walk us through an experience of that
Yeah,
briefly.
this is what we're going to do is we're going to go to our sacred temple. And now see, I have two things. I use the sacred temple and I use a library. A lot of people use the library, but I just love seeing the screen. It's the updated version of the records. And we're going to go to the sacred temple, and then we're going to meet an Akashic record guide and ask that person. So I would encourage everybody to think about something they want to know an answer to. Like, what past life did I have with my father that made him, treat me the way he did, or my mother, or what past life could have been the source of this physical problem? And, or even, I'm working on building this new business. Do you have any ideas? Who should I go to for financial investment? You can go to the Akashic Records for anything and get inspiration and guidance. So we're going to go meet a guide, ask a question, and then receive an answer. Don't strive to receive it, because as soon as you get in your left brain, you shut down the receptivity and you kind of close the record door. Okay. So, all right. So everyone get into a comfortable position. I am, it's going to be an easy, relaxing meditation. I'm going to count backwards from 6 to 1, and at the count of 1, you'll be going into your sacred temple, beautiful Akashic record location, and your temple of all spirit connection. So as we're counting down, think about a question that you would like to ask your Akashic record guide. 6, let your shoulders drop and let all the muscles in your arms relax and feel loose and heavy. 5, with each descending number, you're going deeper and deeper into relaxation. So just let yourself feel calm and comfortable now as you relax even further. 4, relax the muscles in your legs. Feel your legs getting heavy and drained of any tension. You can feel a warm wave of relaxation moving all the way down to your feet and toes. 3, relax your face, relax your forehead and eyebrows, relax your jaw and let your shoulders drop. And now allow your consciousness to drift gently down into your heart center. At the count of 1, you will find yourself moving towards your beautiful sacred temple. 2, your whole body feels very heavy and relaxed, and you feel that you are so close to connecting with a wonderful spirit guide. You feel so calm and relaxed, and your consciousness is settled in your peaceful heart center. And 1. Just let yourself open your mind and your heart to sensing yourself approaching your own beautiful sacred temple now. Let the mist clear, and as you do, you notice in the distance a shining, beautiful place. It is a beautiful, bright building reflecting the light of the sun. Perhaps it's made of white marble, alabaster, glass, crystal, or even just entirely made of light. This calls to you to come, and you know that it is your own personal temple, a stunning place of light and love and divine consciousness, the place where all the records and wisdom of eternity are eternally held. All of the information you may ever need exists in this, your sacred temple. So joyfully move toward it, feeling so peaceful, so calm, and yet so excited about going to your own sacred place, your Akashic Records storehouse, and meeting your Akashic Record guide. You walk up to this beautiful, shining building that is your sacred place, and you go in and see that it is filled with light and wonderful, loving energy. It is so radiantly beautiful, brilliant. You feel the love, the peace, yet the power there. And you feel and know that you can come to this place anytime you feel the need to make a connection. Anytime you want to feel the peace and wonderful energy. This is the center of your eternal space, the place where you connect with your own guides, spirit friends and family, ascended masters, and loving angels. This is the place where divine light and divine consciousness and divine love fills you. It is always within your soul. So let yourself come here whenever you desire. And now, as you stand in the center of this loving space, you know that you can invite a spirit guide or an angel or a friend or family to open the records for you. And you feel the movement of a wonderfully loving spirit, the presence of a guide, master, angel, loved one. Feel the presence now coming to you, making a heart-to-heart connection. This spirit, no matter who they are, has access to all the information you need now or ever. You may know them and be able to call them by name. Or if you want, you can just think of the specific issue or question you might have in mind. So let yourself connect on a heart-to-heart basis now. And you feel a powerful energy entering your heart, filling you with light, pouring light and love all into you, around you, as the spirit being comes to your side. So take a moment now to sense that light and love. Take a moment now to see if you can or would like to get any information about who this guide might be. It might be a symbol or a name. Don't fight for it. Don't strive for it. Don't force it. Just let yourself be open to who this may be. You have with you a wonderful being, one who loves and wants to protect and inform and inspire you. So just let yourself be open to that now. Now, this spirit or angel has a sweet gift for you, and that is the gift of information and energy. So take a moment to consider the question you have in mind. Let yourself ask this being a question. It may be about a past life. It may be about a health issue or a relationship or a work project or about any specific issue that you may have in mind. You can let yourself ask that now, or you can ask if this guide has anything to tell you that they know that you need to know right now. Any information that you need in order to grow, to heal, to succeed, to achieve your desires, and to be peaceful. So just go ahead and ask your question or open up to whatever information may come. And take a moment now to relax and let yourself sense, feel, hear, or just know what this spirit has to tell you. Open your heart. The information may come in a word or a phrase or an image or just a sense of knowing. It may be about a past life issue, a past issue in this life, a present project, a future hope. Just let the information come in any form and take the time to receive that now. You know that as time goes on, the information will become more and more clear, and you will be able to receive all that you need from this or any record guide that you may connect with. So just let yourself know that even if the information is not clear, you will get more and more clarity as time goes on. Open your heart to receiving any information you need at any time, even if you don't completely understand it yet. As time goes on, the guides, the masters, the angels will answer your questions as you connect with the Akashic Records and the energetic realm where all solutions are found. These guides are here for you. So take a moment at any time during your day, falling asleep, waking up, take a moment to connect. Say hello to your guides and say, do you have any information for me? And just be open to receive. So take a moment now to thank your guide, whoever is here. And if you have more than one, thank any guide that may have appeared. I'm now going to count upwards from 1 to 3. And at the count of 3, you'll be back to this time and space feeling so peaceful and so connected. So let yourself come back slowly now. 1. In the days, weeks, and months to come, you will relax and return to your sacred temple more and more, receiving the record information, inspiration, and guidance, visiting this lovely place for peace, connection, and inspiration. And 2, coming back to this time and space now, in the days, weeks, and months to come, you'll feel a deeper and deeper connection to the guides, the angels, the spirit that you meet in your sacred temple, and to the divine love within you that is with you always and guides you as well. And three, coming back to this time and space now, in the days, weeks, and months to come, you will remember to open the records and call upon your angels and spirit guides to access all the information and encouragement that your spirit loved ones can bring. And you will see your life moving forward in a wonderfully positive direction. So just come back now and stretch out and open your eyes. I go to my sacred temple all the time.
Beautiful.
It's right in your heart center.
That's such
It's
a
not far
lovely,
away.
detailed process. I think people will really have a lot of things they take away from that. And for those of you who are listening to this, you type into the comments. I'd love to hear from you what you experienced during the guided meditation that is so lovely that Sandy just led us through. I really
Oh,
appreciate
thank you.
that. You know, it's nice to have the hands-on experience. The personal experience will always be better than what other people can describe it as. So
Yeah.
that when you actually get
You never
involved,
know what to expect. And it's usually better than you think.
absolutely, absolutely.
Disconnecting. Disconnecting.
It is connecting, and you know that's something that people want now that you've done that, or maybe this is not your first time accessing the Akashic records, but what felt different for you about this and the energy that you feel that you accessed and that you know on a deeper level you can tap into when you need to, and so you can play this back if you wish, but also Sandy has the wonderful book about the Akashic records that you
Oh,
can
yes. I forgot. I
refer.
was going to hold it up. There it
There you
is.
go. There's the
The
Akashic
Akashic
Records.
Records made easy.
There you go. By Sandra Taylor. That's perfect. And, you know, do you feel that because you have deliberately been accessing the Akashic Records, your relationship has become so much easier? You have that trusting relationship. For other people, as they're wanting to evolve that, you think just accessing that on a regular basis, a weekly basis, sometimes a daily basis as
Oh,
needed
yes.
is helpful?
I absolutely feel it would be helpful because, no matter what kind of experience we get into, whether it's relationship or physical health, anything work related, we need to, there are shifts going on, especially now. And we need to be open to a guidance that might lead us in a different direction. And that's very important to be willing to hear that and not stay stuck.
And just as a point, because you were just saying, especially what goes on, there's a worldliness that sometimes we can get wrapped up into. That if we go back into just staying into the accessing of the Akashic records, remembering who we truly are, we won't be so distracted by what other people are doing
That's
or how
right.
other things are unfolding because we feel that divinity within us that is responding.
That's right. And that's thank you for saying that because that's so important to realize because we don't have to allow that outer consciousness to seep into our own sense of our well-being and make us feel, scared and depressed and, fearful.
And to that end, the information that's in the Akashic records is not meant to be there to scare you, to make anything more difficult for you. Yes, it has a lot of components to it, but there's no fear
Right.
in terms. I guess it's the only thing that doesn't exist there, right?
That's right. But
All
it
the
does,
all the horror movies have been removed.
but it does show us the times in the past where we have been fearful so that we can let that go.
Yes,
And
yes.
even present times where it reminds us you have an option to be afraid here or to reclaim your power and say, I'm not going to give up my ability to be joyful because that craziness is going on.
That's right. We don't want to get too wrapped up in it. We want to go back to what is our truth. with a
Right.
capital T. And
Yep.
so I think, especially the way you've helped people access them today, I think that's the big takeaway. But are there other things you would hope that our listeners today would take away from our conversation?
I would just like them to know that the inspiration they seek and the connection with spirit can be spontaneous. It can be small things, immediate, in your sleep, driving. We're in alpha level brain frequency driving all the time. You get this stuff. I mean, don't just say, I have to be meditating and I have to be intending this. Be open, and the spontaneity of spirit's love and inspiration can come at any time. So expect it and then say thank you. I always say thank you.
Yes. Gratitude is a very important component. It puts us in the correct vibrational frequency so that we can
Oh,
receive
yeah.
more good things, more information, more intuition.
Yeah.
And as you described in that story earlier, he saw it right across the panoramic view. All of a
Yes.
sudden, he received the formula that he needed, and you can too. You'll receive the formula of your life, and
Yes.
that's so beautiful that we can access it. I know I should tell people about your upcoming events for
Oh,
Lilydale.
sure.
I know
Yeah.
time's cooking right along. Uh, Unless there's anything else you wanted to share with people, we'll launch
No,
into.
no, the Lily Dale. Yeah, totally forgotten. Yes, that let's talk about that.
Yes. We're blessed to have Sandra Taylor back in Lilydale again this summer. She'll be here on July 31st and August 1st. July 31st is it's a fundraiser for Lilydale that you're doing, which is so lovely. We appreciate that very much. You'll be doing angel readings, healings, and revelations. That's the title of this. Do you want to tell them more about that particular experience and that invitation for that fundraiser?
Yeah, I'm so excited because well, I have a new card deck called Angels of Nature coming out right before that. And what we're going to do is learn how to connect with the angels. It's surprising to me how many people don't don't believe in it or don't believe in the power of angels, even spiritual people. But I have hundreds of angel stories, people being saved, their lives being saved. And so we're going to on that Friday night we're going to be doing angel readings, revelations about what their world is, what your world is, and a lot of healings and going into the truth about the angel presence in our lives. Even, we can't see them, but there are a lot of things that are unseen in the physical world that still have a lot of power.
They absolutely do. So that's on Friday evening, July 31st. And then you'll be part of another special fundraiser event with Cindy Kaza and your twin sister, twin sister Sharon Klingler. Uh, they're doing some wonderful events Friday and Saturday, and you're going to be part of the fundraiser on that Saturday the first, and I believe it's called Discovering Oracles Day.
Yes, and how to connect with spirit through the oracles.
Mm-hmm. And that's
So,
all day on that Saturday the first. So people
yeah.
can mark their calendar and come and get like this full day immersion
It's a
into
lot
that.
of fun. And it's so much easier when you start with, that's how I started with Oracle cards. And then, now they just talk to me, but if I hadn't spent so much time just connecting with the spirit world through the Oracle, I don't know if that would have happened.
I think
So
that's a quick access tool. And
it
then
is.
eventually people realize they don't need the tool, they are the tool.
That's
And
right.
yeah,
That's right. But
so
even when you don't need it, it can be fun too.
absolutely, just to see what the flip of a card can
Yes.
offer you. Absolutely. Any other things that you'd like to make sure get announced? I think those are the two events that you're involved in for this summer season.
Yeah, those are my two events. And the
And
other
the
thing,
ticket, the ticket links will be posted in this description, so you can access that. It'll take you directly to the Lilydale events that Sandy's taking part in. So uh, that takes that question out of people's minds.
yeah, that's
Go
great.
ahead,
And I
Sandy.
hope everyone can join us because all of the proceeds go to Lilydale, to the improvement of the auditorium and a lot of the different things that beautiful 150-year-old place needs
Oh,
right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, it's just the nature of things that, buildings get old, and we do need a lot of help in that category. So we're always looking for donations. But this is a great fundraiser. I think people can learn a lot, have fun while they're doing it,
That's right.
and be in Lilydale, which is a very, very special
That's
place.
right. Put the fun back in fundraising.
Perfect. I love that. And Sandy, what's their website if they want to connect with you?
It's sandrataylor.net.
And are there
Sandra.
any other ways that you'd like them to get a hold of you if they need to?
Like you, have a podcast called
Awesome.
Energy Activation on mindbodyspirit.fm. And there's a lot in there, so you can access I have a ton of different ones. They're all available.
Yeah, episodes that you
Mindbodyspirit.fm,
you
wherever
can
you get it.
yeah,
Mhm.
you can learn more from Sandy in that category. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and
great.
Facebook/Sandra Anne with an E, Ann Taylor.
Just like Anne of Green Gables, Anne with an E.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing so much about how to access Akashic Records effectively and in a sacred way that's going to really help people transform their lives and their perceptions as
Yeah.
a soul.
Yeah, don't make it a big deal. Just have fun with it, and you will be amazed.
Yes. Beautiful. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I'll have another great show for you next week. And you can always look back at the archive videos of the past shows. I've got a full array of almost a decade of shows available on my YouTube channel. That's the best place to get all of those past shows with great guests, just like Sandy Taylor. All right,
Thank you.
everyone. Take care. Bye.